What's going on, YouTube? It's NoirExcellence, and here we got another episode of Noir Talks, episode number 2. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everybody's having a great, it might be a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whenever you listen to the video, evening, morning, afternoon. Hopefully the week is going good for you. And again, because it's still going on, I hope everybody's staying safe. Make sure you're washing your hands, obviously. 20 seconds under warm water, soap and water, get your nails. Hopefully your family member's okay. You're like brother, sister, cousin, auntie, whatever, your significant other. Man, it's still going on. So social distance. If you're essential, go to work, be safe. If you need to wear your mask, your gloves, do your thing. All right, let's get into the video. Let's get into the podcast. My bad. Sorry. God damn, where's my water? So I don't know if I have enough news. I mean, I got some interesting articles here, interesting topics to talk about, but it might not be a long podcast. But nevertheless, you know how we're gonna do. We're gonna start out with some gaming news. We're gonna start out with, and then after gaming, I got a little bit of anime to talk about. I like animes that have been delayed. Then I'm gonna go into like some real life conversations. You know how we do it. Sorry to get a swig of water. All right, so let's start off with our first article going into gaming. So in gaming news right now, the ex Nintendo president of oh my god, I am nervous. Rewind that. Ex Nintendo of America president Reggie Ame, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I know I messed it up. My bad, apologies. Whoops. He announced a brand new podcast called Talking Games with Reggie and Harold. So it's hosted along Harold, obviously. Harold Goldberg, who is a winning author and journalist. The podcast is helping to raise money for the New York Video Game Critics Circle nonprofit's monitoring work. So basically, this podcast is just supposed to be a 7-part podcast. It's supposed to start around mid-May, and those who actually donate to the cause get extra access to some more content, and you also get to have a chance to ask questions so he can answer on the podcast. I'm going to link both the article as well as the GoFundMe in the description, so anyone that feel that they want to go help out, they want to go, support the cause, feel free to. Anything is anything. But I would like to also talk about, actually they described it, so I want to speak about it so people get more details from their point of view. So I'm going to describe their podcast. Here it goes. They said, "We are raising funds for a new initiative to bring games and games writing courses to high school students in homeless shelters in New York City. While everyone has been hard hit by this terrible COVID-19 virus in some way, the hardest hit undeserved communities in the Bronx need our help. And no community has been hit harder than students in homeless shelters who live in complex situations in the best of times and are having trouble even connecting to a Wi-Fi hotspot right now. These are our communities in need. These are the communities we want to help." Again, anybody that feels the need that they actually want to go support, feel free to, man. This is actually really nice of you, and I'm gonna link it down below. Just to speak about it, to be honest, in my opinion, from reading this, it's very interesting because if you don't know, Reggie was really loved. A lot of people I know are watching videos. People are actually kind of like a little bit sad that he was leaving, but everyone has their time. So he's not dead or nothing. My fault. I said like he's dead. He's not. He just left. He came down his position. But aside from that, I'm actually really interested in the podcast itself because I want to know what specifically you're gonna talk about. Yes, I know that they said they want to raise funds to bring games and games writing courses. Okay, but as in the podcast, are they gonna talk about games, specifically about writing games, how to write characters, develop characters, write stories? Are they gonna talk more so about development? I don't know Reggie's background when it comes to like the technicals of video games. Yes, he was a president, but okay, yes, he might have an idea in writing games and such like that, but does he know more so dealing with mechanics of a game or whatever? If we're talking about maybe not coding, but if we're talking about stories, story writing, storyboards, all that sort of things, I'm actually pretty interested in this, and I want to know how Harold, his ideas, how they're gonna bounce back and forth. Him being an author and a journalist, so that's really cool. So obviously you can expect more so like the storytelling, right? But I'm still interested, to be honest. I'm gonna check it out whenever they drop this. So tune in for it mid-May, sometime this month, around the midway point, maybe in about a week and a half or so. And again, I'm gonna drop the link if you want to go support them. The GoFundMe is gonna be down below. and that's well appreciative. Let's move on though. In our next set of gaming news, The Last of Us 2 release date has been updated. If you do not know, Last of Us 2 was delayed, of course, because of COVID-19. It was pushed back indefinitely. Oh my god. Somebody get him water. Give me a sec. There we go. So the game was pushed back indefinitely, which means that they just don't know when the game would come out. In simple terms. But now, I guess because of a employee or whatever, he was just fed up. So they leaked it, and now the game is gonna be released on June 19th of this year, 2020. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking forward to the game, but I'm not that excited no more. I don't know what it is, like, cause I remember doing E3 when they showed that little trailer, that little demo, or whatever, you know, with Ellie. That was like, I was like real amped. I'm like, yo, this is sick. But now I'm just like, I'm kind of over it. You know what I mean? But mind you, it's still a game I'm still definitely gonna play. I still definitely want to get my hands on it and try it out. I know from going on Twitter and going on their profile that they showed a little small animations, and they also showed that because Ellie's obviously younger now, she can move a little bit more compared to Joel. She's gonna be able to be a little bit more agile, and there's gonna be more verticality in the game, which means that if you saw in the trailer, the original trailer E3, they showed her hiding on her car. I hope that we'll probably be able to go under like places because she's smaller, she's a little bit more slim. She can do that, as well as she can, there's also a small animation showed her like jumping. When she climbed on top of a trailer truck, she jumped like on another one, and so it's gonna be like that verticality to the combat, which is interesting to me because like I'm envisioning. Wow, I'm nervous today. What the hell? We doing this one take anyway. I'm envisioning in my mind. Imagine, okay, now you know you get into combat. There's like 10 enemies or whatever. You know they're patrolling doing their things. Then you can now get on top, and not only that you're on top, you can stamp them out. You can stealthily take down. Because I was more into the stealth. Because you know in Last of Us, if you played the first game, which if you haven't, go back play it. It definitely probably cheaper now, so it's worth your time because you'll love the story. You'll get to understand Joel and Ellie and how they met. Plus, you'll actually like create this kind of like father vibe. You know, you kind of just want to protect Ellie. It's a real good story. But anyways, back into what I was saying. Back on topic. In the first game compared to now, again, you had to like save supplies, right? Because you weren't trying to just go like guns ho trying to shoot weapons. You had to actually stealth things, craft things. So it's gonna be cool in this game as well now, the verticality, because you get to see the layout of the land kind of thing, and also to imagine you're facing walkers and you're facing humans, right? So not only are you able to just hide level ground, but if you can find like a, you know, the high ground advantage, then you're able to now get a better look at everything, which is dope, right? Which is always welcomed in a video game because it's also versatile. I know that still speaking about the game, a lot of there was a huge spoiler showing up like gameplay footage and stories and key parts of the story. I haven't tuned into any of that. I haven't like watched any of that or went on any videos. I haven't clicked on none of those. I advise you do the same thing. Stay away from that stuff because man, that can ruin the game, bro. I've seen videos on YouTube about people saying that yo, the game's ruined for them. They know what's gonna happen, and even if they have time to change it, it's too late now. It's already May. Like, you know, like come on, June's like right around the corner. It's already May, so I would say just stay away from that. I haven't watched none of that, so I'm good. Whenever I get my hands on the game, I'm definitely gonna try it. The game is going to be out, of course, on PlayStation, and look out for it, guys. Should be hitting your store June 19th, 2020. If you're gonna pre-order that, that should be a good game to play right now during the quarantine. Great single player game. Now, let's move on. Let's keep it moving. This right here is a big piece of news to me personally because I do love this franchise. The Assassin's Creed franchise, well, not Assassin's Creed franchise, but Ubisoft, they released and they announced, their new game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, this game I'm really excited for because I do actually like the franchise. I never played all of the games. I've only ever played Assassin's Creed 2 and Odyssey, but I've kept up with the story just because I was moving around and such like that. I never got time. I really had the finances at the time. But it's still something I believe that you should check out. Anyways, let's get on to it. Let's talk about it a bit. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to take place towards like the end of the 9th century, A time when Norse tribes were leaving their homes in Scandinavia and sailing overseas into like Anglo-Saxon England, which in chase of whatever it might be, resources, land. And if you don't know, this game takes place in the Dark Ages. And the Dark Ages is a period of human history where documentation was lost, I guess, because of war and pilgriming, and you know what I'm saying. It's the things like such that we lost a lot of documentation of written history. So we don't know what happened, and that time is between when the Roman world ended, like the Roman age, and before the medieval era. So it's an interesting period of time where we're going back and we're getting it from a viewpoint of Vikings. And you know, Vikings growing up, everybody, even in cartoons and stuff like that, Vikings were like brutes, you know, no brains, just bronze kind of people. But in this game, it's giving them an outlook like, no, like they're not really bad people, you know what I'm saying? Like they're interesting. They have their own ways, they have their own myths, their own obviously they have their own sort of rituals that they go through and stuff like that. And obviously they're on the assassin side, right? And from watching the trailer, I have some notes about that. The trailer this time around was narrated by King Alfred, and I'm pretty for sure certain that he's now the antagonist of the story. King Alfred was during this time when Vikings were invading England and taking new territories such like that. He was the ruler of the kingdom of Wessex, which I hope I'm saying it right. If I'm not, I apologize. You know what I'm saying, it is gonna happen. But that was the only kingdom to actually survive during this kind of pilgriming by the Vikings. His kingdom was to survive, and not just survive, but they actually repelled the Vikings, you know what I'm saying, during this whole time. So it's interesting to see, okay, are we facing this more so of an uphill battle? Because in the end, he repelled us, you know what I'm saying, the Vikings, because you're gonna play as them. So are you facing this uphill battle? You're gonna go around taking new lands, taking territories, cities, towns, you know, such like that. And in this game, you're gonna be playing as Eivor. I hope I'm saying that name right. Either it could be a male or a female character, and both designs look actually really interesting. The male was shown in a trailer, and I saw a picture of the female. I looked around online, just like a photo of her, because you get her as a statue doing a collector's item. But both designs I actually really like, so you won't be disappointed if you choose to play male or female. I'm probably gonna go male this time because he was just giving out some alpha vibes, and I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to throw some hands, so I'm gonna have to play as him. And also too, in the game, it just shows, in the trailer, sorry, it shows like how you go around, how the combat is especially. So combat this time around looks very, very brutal, and that's one thing I didn't note. Let me pull up those notes real quick. Yeah, so the combat this time looks really brutal because a lot of, like they showed in the trailer, a lot of enemies were like, say you were getting decapitated. There's one swing of the axe, especially where the head came right off. You can probably take off limbs now, which is, I'm liking that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm liking the fact that, okay, this game is going hands down, we're killing people. It's not just killing, but like, you know, you're taking off limbs, which makes sense, because during this time the Vikings were like, you know, when it comes to battle, they're very, you know what I'm saying, they're very brutal. So what's the point of like holding back, right? So this is definitely not for the squeamish. Also too, as well, another point that I wanted to make is that you could dual wield in this game. And there's an interview that you can read. I'm gonna link it all in the description. You can go on the website Ubisoft, they'll show you the history of everything. And they were interviewing Thierry Noel, which I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And Thierry Noel is a historian and inspirational content advisor for the editorial research unit of the game. He spoke that the Vikings were very versatile fighters, right? They're very adept at using many different weapons. That's why in the trailer you saw him just pick up another weapon. He was using a sword, and I think it was an axe at one time when he was facing the heavy soldier of England, right? So you can expect in this game, which is something I'm looking forward to, you have an axe in one hand, then you have like a mace, you know what I mean? Or you have a mace and then you can have a sword, for example, whatever you feel like. Or even the shields, like the shields you can use as weapons. So that's one thing for sure. This game is gonna be really, really interesting in terms of combat. That's what I'm looking forward to, because I'm definitely gonna probably dual axe, maybe axe and a mace. So you can look forward to like some really fun gameplay when it comes to combat. And another thing too from the interview that I read was that there's gonna be raids, right? Because obviously it's centered around Vikings looking for new resources, new settlements. So you can raid new, probably capture new towns, capture new cities, and you'll obviously be able to command the raids because you're the leader. And this is an interesting concept because in my mind, I'm feeling okay. Obviously, the goal is to challenge King Alfred, right, for Wessex, probably. Maybe I don't know. I'm just saying because his kingdom was the only kingdom to actually survive. So, excuse me. In the end, I'm guessing you're gonna go after him, obviously. Maybe not, right? But oh my god, god damn, my fault. But during the raids, especially, I had this kind of thought. Like, imagine the layout is gonna be different because I know for if you played Odyssey, I've played Odyssey where it wasn't raids, it was like mini wars, for example. So you were a Spartan and you're versus the Athenians and whatever, right? Because you were playing as a mercenary. And so, for example, if you wanted a part of Macedonia or whatever, you'd go for a war, right? And it was like 100-man wars. So it's basically just like team deathmatch. You know, you just go around killing until you get enough points and you secure the land and all that such. But in this game now, it's a little bit different in the fact that you're not just facing on this open plot of land like it was in Odyssey. You'll be going into towns and cities. So that gets me kind of excited because now when you're going into raids and you're controlling, are you gonna have the control of saying, okay guys, we want to do this stealthy, you know what I'm saying? You get to go and choose, now we're gonna wait till nighttime, we're gonna wait till midnight when maybe just a couple guards are out and you don't have to really worry about too many soldiers on patrol or whatever. Or if you just want to say fuck it, let's just go in there and just just take the whole shit, and you can go during the day. That's what's really interesting about it, because now it's kind of like, okay, you're facing in a town, so maybe there's temples you can like burn, destroy, bust through windows, bust through doors. Maybe you're fighting in the crib in the temple, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different sort of fighting. So maybe you could during combat hit a dude, jump up on the wall, jump on top of the roof, and then fly to it. It's just randomly you going around. And how do you know you conquered? Are you just going to set them out, kill everyone, or is it like Odyssey in terms of you don't kill everyone, but it's like a limit to it. If I remember correctly, it's like, for example, the health is like 100, or the health quotations, and you would just go around killing certain people. You can kill like commanders and leaders, and once you kill, like, obviously certain people hold more value. So if you kill the leaders and the heads, then obviously the soldiers are gonna be like, we can't do this, and they're gonna retreat. So it's kind of different. Or it's maybe like if you go there is 60 people, 60 soldiers in there plus the head, and your goal is to just kill them all, which is interesting. It's just a different point, different take on it. So again, I'm just speaking off the top of my head because I don't know. It can be very different, and it's actually really interesting. And also, oh yeah, sorry, quick point. I wanted to talk about, this is like, I should have said this at the beginning, but I'm gonna still talk about it now, because right before I ended, I know when I was speaking about Vikings, Enderman, and Vikings we always thought were just brutes, all that stuff. Actually, Thierry was actually saying through research and stuff like that, he was saying the term Viking apparently actually refers to an elite class of Norse society. So these people were like traders, explorers, seafarers, settlers, and of course like invaders and plunderers. So that's just what I want to say. It's actually really interesting. So it goes along the whole path like you playing as a Viking, because in the trailer it shows, I think King Alfred was he was narrating and saying these people have no belief, no gods, they're just ruthless. And it showed like snippets of when you're going around plundering, you stop like you're one of your soldiers, or you're one of your soldiers, or your fellow like fighters, from like hitting any women and kids. So you told them to get out there, and you only kill like the warriors, you know what I mean? Which is dope. So it's giving us a different outlook, a different look in Vikings in general. So I'm excited for this game. I'm definitely going to be playing this again. I haven't finished Odyssey's DLC, so I'm probably gonna go back and finish that, because Odyssey is basically about Templars. Start of it, Origins was about obviously the start of Brotherhood, and I think this is a trilogy, right, of the lady. So we're wrapping it up. I'm interested. I'm gonna probably go back and either play the games or just watch the videos. I'm gonna finish up Odyssey, but I'm probably gonna watch Origins and just get my mind ready, because I'm gonna be sinking out like over 100 hours in this game for sure. And the release date for this game is holiday 2020, so look out for this. And then let's move on to our last piece of gaming news. This right here is a lot more techie. Let me get a quick swig of this water though. All right, my bad, sorry. So it's a lot more tech focused, but I find it still interesting because, you know, it's relatable to not just the gaming news, but also to your wallets. All right, so AMD, let me get the actual article going. I have just notes about it, but I want to get the actual article where they spoke about it. So AMD CPU and GPU roadmap for 2020, it's full of a lot of upgrades, right? So they're looking forward to with their Zen 3 CPU chips and the RDNA2 on the horizon, which just means that their CPU and their GPU upgrades are coming. Now, Zen 3 and all that stuff, it's great. And it's just gonna be optimized right with their new CPUs coming out, these new CPU chips. I more specifically wanted to talk about their GPUs. So we know if you don't know, in terms of the CPU market, AMD has, I need to get an actual fact check, but I think it was like 50% now they have of the 50% shares on the CPU market. Like, they completely took the CPU market by storm. Because really and truly, if you keep up with gaming news, if you want to build a computer, a PC, or a gaming computer, or just PC when it comes to doing more things than just gaming one thing, you'd probably want to do AMD, right? Even in my rig, I have a 3700X, which when I did all my research, it makes more sense to get that. So in my opinion, when it comes to CPU, right now AMD is just doing their thing, right? They're just taking over. But when we're talking about graphics cards, you're still gonna go AMD. You know what I'm saying? If you're building an entry level computer, even a mid-range, you can still probably get the 5000 series of AMD's GPU, but at the same time, Intel, if you're going high end, which I have a higher ended PC, because, you know what I'm saying, I don't have broke specs, but if yo, just like the video, if my fault, yo, if you anyways, like I was saying, if you go to high end, you probably go Intel. I have a 2070 Super in my build, so yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, but now back onto the whole GPU yada yada yada. With their new GPUs, they're actually saying that now they're gonna actually integrate ray tracing, which ray tracing just helps you with more realistic like lighting effects and such, and also variable rate shading, which helps with the generating of the images and the qualities, which in turn, which just means that they're coming now for that higher end side of the GPU of the industry and such. So they're really coming after Intel now with these new chips. They're supposed to come out somewhere along this year, late 2020, and they've actually already done a great job in terms of laptops, but they want to push it towards their laptop as well, these new chips. So you can expect more options when it comes to building your computer, which is a good thing, because that helps you as a consumer, help you save money, help you also not waste money, right? You don't feel like you have to just go to an Intel. In my opinion, you don't ever be loyal to one brand, right? Be loyal to wherever makes the most sense, whatever makes the most sense for your budget and your pocket. That's why I have a CPU by AMD, and obviously I would have my GPU by Intel just because it's better. But if they're coming into play, we'll see what happens in the future. And that's all I really gotta say about that. And that's it for gaming news. Look at my note. Yeah, that's it I have for gaming news. Let's go on to anime. And I don't have much to say on this because I'm not keeping up with every anime. I never have, never will, but I'm a big anime lover, so I wanted to talk about some anime that have been postponed, delayed, that I really keep up with, and I wanted to let you know. So ReZero, if you haven't watched ReZero, it's a great show. Go back and watch that. I don't really want to talk about it too much. I don't want to spoil it, nor am I really much of a reviewer, so I won't really get into detail and all that such. There's a lot of better channels for that. But ReZero season 2 has actually been postponed from April, which was supposed to air obviously last month. Now it's been pushed to July. It's not that big of a push, but at the same time, for those that was looking out for it, especially me, you know, it's a little bit whatever, but at the same time, it's all good. It's still coming out this year, so that's a good thing. So get ready to despair some more, and I guess I'll just talk quickly about it. In ReZero, our main character Subaru, basically, you know, it's an isekai. It's like a dark fantasy isekai where he just got transported to another world, and he has no idea. It's not one of those like I'm saving the world kind of isekai. It's not one of those. It's really and truly like a despair dark fantasy. You'll see like he goes through some real stuff. He has to deal with a lot of things, and because of it, he has this unwanted, I guess, or what would you call it, like unexpected blessing and a curse, whatever. Like every time he dies he respawns, basically like a checkpoint. So if you again like I said, watch it. It's a good show. I got nothing else to say. It's not really much of a spoiler. You can get it from any simple like small review or even just reading online. The game's worth it, trust me, in my opinion. That's a game, oh my gosh, my fault. I remember, the anime is worth it in my opinion. But let's move on. Black Clover, which is an anime that was going on for about, I think, it's been a couple of years since it's been going on, since the first release. But after episode 132 was just released about this last week, I'll probably upload this Monday, so about last week, it's been delayed now. It's not yet determined when it would air again, and that's a little bit, it's not, honestly, with this news, I'm not really bummed out because they've been going consistently. I know when the anime first came out, it was, in my opinion, I was excited for it because yes, it had like Naruto vibes, but at the same time, I was interested to see where it would go with it. Yes, the anime had a rocky start. It didn't really know its footing, right? A lot of people obviously it was just like Asta's Naruto, Yuno's Sasuke, but in this terms, they were more so friends. It wasn't like a combatant thing. Yes, they were rivals, but it wasn't really like a story where Sasuke would leave, such like that. But at the same time, it didn't really know what kind of anime it was, right? But in my opinion, it's found its footing after I think about 20 episodes, when they really start going to like the underground temple and they start feeling the Eye of the Midnight Sun, that group. It really got better. So if you haven't watched it, watch the anime. Just stick with it through a little bit. I know it's a little rough. It's a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. Asa still screams, but they've toned it down now because they know how to deal with the characters. But aside from that, don't worry. Just stick with it. It's pretty good. And in my opinion, they deserve the break. They've been going really steady because they were only scheduled for, I believe, 51 episodes. Like it was only supposed to go for, I guess, like two seasons, and that was it until whatever. But they kept going. So, and they kept it up every week for like a couple of years. So they deserve the break. I just hope that, you know, they're being funded and whatever. Aside from that, yeah, that anime is going to be delayed for a little bit. We don't know when it'll come back. And for the last little bit anime I want to talk about is the Promised Neverland. Promised Neverland is one of those, you know, every year a countless amount of anime come out, right? But every couple of years or within the decade, you have special anime, and this is one of those works I believe that you love. Doesn't in my opinion, it doesn't matter what kind of fan you are, you'll like it, in my opinion, unless you only really want to see a slice of life. But not only is it just a fantasy action adventure, but it has mystery, it has slight thrillers to it, because it deals with a group of kids and they're raised in this orphanage, and they have to, through like, you know, certain events every time, when they reach the age of 12 or before, they can get basically adopted, and they find out, you know, through some unexpected events, certain things about the orphanage and how the system works. So it's one of those things that I feel like you'll like it. It's really mysterious too, because it has those vibes where it's like you're not gonna expect what's gonna happen, and it is a lot of mind games to it, because these children are smart, right? From the minute they're born, they're basically being raised to be like superhumans in terms of mindset, right? They have to think a lot, so they deal a lot with IQ tests. Their IQs are very high, so it has a lot of mind games to it. I think you'll appreciate that. But either way, go watch that season if you haven't watched it. But season 2 was actually originally planned for this year, October 2020, but it's now pushed till January 2021. It's a little bummer. It's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a bummer, because I was looking forward to it. Just, you know, when fall comes, you could have a little nice anime, and plus season 2 is gonna kick off real serious, because there's gonna be some interesting things happening. This anime, I've read the manga for this. I'm a manga reader, but don't get it twisted. I'm not one of them like holier than thou manga readers. I'll be chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the ones in the comments just spoiling shit like, oh, wait till this and wait till. I'm not doing all that, but trust me, I read the manga, and it's worth it. Just stick around with this one. They've done a great job so far animating and getting the music right, getting the tone, getting the setting, the voice acting. I think you'll like it when it kicks off. But either way, that's all I got for delays and postpones. I'm not going to talk about everything. Not everything interests me, but these are just real good anime picks. I feel like you'll like it. Anything I talk about when it comes to anime or even any news, I feel like it's worth the listen or worth the read. Anyways, let's get on to now current anime that's airing, and I have two animes that I feel like you should watch, and it's two different kind of genres too at the same time, so it'll probably fill your needs of whatever you're trying to see. First one I want to talk about is, to me, is like the GOAT right now. It's like the number one out of the two, and it's for different reasons, right? It's not like it's 1-2, but different reasons. So it's called Tower of God. This anime just started airing this spring, and it's a fantasy action adventure anime featuring our main character called Bam, or the 25th Bam, and his story dealing with climbing the tower. So now Bam woke up in, I guess, just like this underground. He just woke up, and he's just been there his whole life. Nobody around him, legit just darkness, until one day this girl called Rachel, she opened up the ground, because it was like a bunch of rocks or whatever. Bro, we don't know where Bam was originally. We don't even know where he was when the story started out. We don't even know where the hell Rachel came from, but they were outside the tower, right? And everyone in this story dwells in the tower, so you can see they're already different from everyone. She found him, they became friends, and Bam had this kind of, you could kind of say, yeah, let's be honest, she was basically his idol in a way, because he didn't know nobody. She basically taught him everything. She taught him, be nice to people, never betray a girl, because you never want to be on her bad side. Like, he just basically ate up everything she was telling him, right? So he basically just wanted to follow her and be with her forever. So remember one day they were just hanging out. She spoke about the star at the top of the tower, and now she wants to go climb it. He basically just went to the tower just to follow her. That was the only reasoning for this whole story to begin with. He just wanted to be with Rachel, and it's not really in a romance vibe. It's nothing. He loves her, yes, but in my opinion, it's not a vibe where he loves her like he wants to marry her. It's just, he was just alone, right? She's the only person, so it's like basically just a friend. She's just a real good friend to him, in his opinion. And so throughout this whole story, he meets his obviously fellow friends, fellow characters in the story. You meet Kun, which is a blue-haired guy that you meet, but he comes from like a royal family. And also you meet Rak. I'm not really gonna go into detail about them. Rak is like, I don't know, some alligator dude, whatever. I don't know. His character design is cool, but he's like some alligator dude. And you just meet them and you see how they deal with life. I said life, yeah, life as in climbing the tower and their challenges together. So it's really good, interesting story. I've been following Tower of God since it first started. It's the source material it's a webtoon. It's like a manhwa, right? Korean manga. And if you want to actually read it, just download the webtoon app, and it should be like in your top. It should be like number 1 when it comes to like, I think all webtoon, or is it currently right now? Let me check. No, it's not. No, it's not even top series. It's not even number 1 top series. It's number 4 right now for top fantasy, because there's always like new ones. But it's been like going on for about what, 5 years, I think. And I'll tell you right now. I'll just go on the app real quick. Yeah, it's in season 3, and I just read the latest chapter. It has 476 chapters and counting. It comes out with a new chapter every Monday, so you have time to just, spend some time, just read this. I've been reading this since it first came out when I was in high school. It's worth your time. It's worth the read. So far they've been adapting it pretty good. I would say just stick around with it. I wouldn't say it doesn't really seem slow. There's always like a small cliffhanger, because you'll see like this kid, he doesn't know nothing, but You know what I mean? He's gifted. He just doesn't know it. He's super talented. He's basically a prodigy. He just doesn't know it because in his mind he's very naive, right? He doesn't know nothing. And I would say the difference with him is that it's not, in my opinion, it's not annoying, I guess, because I'm a little bit biased because I've read the material, the source material, but at the same time, it's not annoying in terms of, oh, this guy is just stupid. It's more so like, obviously he wouldn't know anything, you know, like he just woke up one day underground. So he's in a tower now, and there's rules to this, rules to that. There's people, everybody, there's a hierarchy, there's a power struggle. He doesn't know nothing. He just wants to see Rachel, right? And obviously he's a naive, nice kid. He just wants to hang out with people. He doesn't know nothing about like betrayal and hatred and all this stuff. So it's a good read if you want to read it. And also it's a good manga. Right now it currently has five episodes on Crunchyroll. So if you want to watch that, I think you'll like it. Let's move on to the second one though. The second anime is called Sing For Me Yesterday. This one, sad emojis up in the chat. This one's for the sad boys out there. Sad girls, sad boys. This is for anyone out there. It's going to probably hit you. You know what I'm saying? If you cry, this is probably an anime that will make you cry. Probably further on in the story. Not right now. But if you don't, it's still going to hit you. I feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad because I don't know like the names of all the main characters. Right, but at the same time it's still a great story. So basically let's get on to it. So in the story, it actually comes from a book too, right? But in the story you have your main character, and I think he dropped out of college. I think he did drop out of college. Yeah, he dropped out of college, I believe, like 6 months in or whatever, and he's now just living part-time. He's working part-time, living on his own, just, you know, making ends meet, just enough to just pay his rent, get some food, stomach, whatever. But he really and truly, he has this love of photography, right, like deep inside of him. But just like a lot of us, right, he has a goal in mind, but he feels like he'll never succeed, so he's just like, whatever, like why try, you feel me? So he, in his mind, it's like, if I don't try and nothing happens for me, nothing was ever going to happen anyway. It's just one of those where, you know what I mean? Everyone has that kind of, it's just doubts. He's letting the doubts control him instead of saying, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna go try. And every character in this story, in this anime so far, everyone's very complex. It's not like a simple character, because he has his own reasonings. And then he has like an old friend he had from college that he likes still to this day. He hasn't gotten over, that he wanted to confess that he liked her. She has her own complex backstory, as well as now at the job he works at, there's this new girl that she dropped out of high school. She keeps coming to the store because she likes him, and she has her own complex backstory, and they all connect somehow, as well as a new guy. So if trust me, it's like a drama romance story. Would I say slice of life? Yeah, drama, romance, slice of life kind of anime. It's actually really interesting. I feel like you'll like it if you're into like especially if you're into dramas, right? Especially if you're like the love kind of, the romance tuggle, you know what I'm saying? Those love triangles, those love squares or whatever. You'll like this anime. So there you go. There's two animes, especially in my opinion, that are airing currently right now, that you can go watch, and I think you won't mind. You'll actually enjoy. And that's it. That's all I have for anime news. By the way, that it's Sing Yesterday for me, not Sing For Me Yesterday, but Sing Yesterday for me. By the way, it has 4 episodes, I believe, out right now on Crunchyroll. So it's new. It just started, but I like it. I've watched 3 episodes so far, and it's worth the watch. All right, let's get into the last segment. I don't know what I'm gonna call this segment, but I guess talk about life or whatever, just little things. And I guess the main point I want to speak about is living a minimalistic lifestyle and how it relates with all the other points I have, right? And speaking about minimalistic lifestyle, I currently have an account on Skillshare. I'm gonna link everything in below. So if you're interested, if you want to have an account on Skillshare, I don't have any promos. You could just go try it. I'm not sure if they do have a free trial. You can just try a free trial for I think it's 2 months. 2 months. And either way, let's get to the point. I've been spending some time watching. I'm gonna try and say his name. Check it out. I'm gonna mess it up. Apologies. Afan Ahmad Mio. His class on minimalistic lifestyle. I know he butchered his name. I know I did. Either way, it just obviously talks with simply living with less, as we know minimalistic lifestyle is, meaning like clothes, food, your value of things, and understanding the benefits of this lifestyle. Though that's the whole class about, and he talks about the benefits, dealing with healthy mindset and how it impacts them. And the reason I wanted to speak about this is it's like, I believe it's 2 hours, the class itself. What I do like about Skillshare, for those who don't know, let me just speak about that real quick, is Skillshare is for anyone. If you have something that you're good at, if you know how to code, how to build an app, if you know how to, I don't know, make music, if you know how to use Fruity Loops or whatever, you can actually start an account and teach classes. And if you want to learn those things, all the things I just mentioned, you can go there and people will teach you how to draw, how to write story, how to do dialogue, how to do voiceovers. People will teach you the art of these things, right? How to edit. So it's really interesting. Either way, no, let's get back on topic and how it relates. So on Skillshare, it breaks everything down into like chunk sizes. So it's not like it's 2 hours and it's just 2 hours flat, one big video. It's 2 hours, but it's broken introduction, like 2 minutes and 4 minutes. You know, the whole thing is broken down so you can go topic by topic or little segment by segment, which I do like. So I'm only about 20 minutes into it, right? But at the same time, I still wanted to speak on it because I believe, because in my life personally, I do live a minimalistic lifestyle. I'm used to obviously moving around. I live on my own anyway, so why would I have a lot of things? But I wanted to speak about why it's so important in my mind, in my opinion, to live one. If you can, if you're able to. I know everybody else is different. I don't want to push anything onto anyone, but the reason why it is because now, when this is going on to like the next topic, and I'll segue into it. When we're speaking about having goals in your, you have goals that you want to achieve, and striving for them is two different things. And obviously we know everyone can have a goal. Most people have goals in life, right? But when you strive for that goal, that's what sets you apart, in my opinion, right? Just like I had this YouTube channel, right? I know when I wanted to start, how I wanted it to be, but things weren't how I wanted it to be. But either way, you strive for something because you can always perfect it along the way. And in my opinion, when you want to do something, when it comes to, if it's creative work, especially, or if it's, I don't know, it could be anything. If you just want to work out, right? You just want to work out more, or you want to just start working out. If you want to learn how to draw, if you want to learn how to write a small story, whatever it may be, when you face like this sort of blocks can be not just because of whatever's going on in life emotionally, but it could also just be because there's a lot of things around you, like clutter, right? Legitimately, if you have clutter in your mind, it could be physically you have clutter in your room. Your room's very cluttered, and I'm not talking about like just messy in terms of obviously how the room appears, but it could just be, you know what I'm saying, it's just messy. Things are all over the place. You're not organized, right? That's right. It's very important, in my opinion, if you can. Or maybe there's just too much things you have. You don't need, I don't know, you don't need 50 shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more so if you're dealing with finances, but you don't need all these things, because we know we live in a society where we're taught, or at least by the music and other, you just want more, right? You want more of this, you want more jewels, you want more money, because money is obviously, we need money, but you want more of this. You want a better looking, you want to look better, you want to look better at this, you want to have more than this person, you want a better car. We just want more, and that's a greed that I believe, in my mind personally, that we have to rewire the more that we get older, because the more you get older, it's just more responsibility comes into play. So in my opinion, you have to rewire based on how society is, right? Because everybody wants more. There's nothing wrong with that. I get that. Like, I would love, bro, like, come on, want more money or whatever. But sometimes you have to understand that in order to achieve your goals and strive for certain things, you need less. And that's what I mean that, okay, try not to have as much clutter around you. You don't need much clutter in your room. Especially if you're striving for something, you want to save money, right? You don't need to buy a lot of things, buy a lot of money. And what I've learned is that the point, or not the point, how should I word this? What I've learned is that another way, how you can efficiently execute that, is by having your needs be what your main thing is, not your wants. And I know obviously that's obvious, but in life, if you speak to a lot of people and just going to work and stuff, it's not like a judge thing. Even like by yourself, even me myself, sometimes it's like if you're thinking too much about what you want, you'll just go get it, right? If you're like, man, I just I want, what I'm saying, new game, I want new shoes, I want clothes, like obviously, bro, like say whatever, then you're just gonna, my stomach is grumbling. Hell, goddamn, I'm about to eat after this. But anyways, that's irrelevant. If you wanting so much and you're thinking in your mind, you're probably just gonna go get up and do it, right? Impulses. So I believe that now if you're able to use your phone, you don't need pen and paper, but if you want to sit down, pen and paper, or I would say use your phone or pen and paper, because it's always better to visually look at it. Type out or write out your needs every month, right? Or needs generally, and your wants every month or generally. So obviously you need to, if you live on your own or live with someone, whatever, you need to pay rent. Or if you live with your parents, if you're younger, it doesn't matter. You need to do your homework, right? Because you're still in school. It is what it is. You might not like it, but just do it. Or you need to make sure you save some money. Whatever amount of money you can save a week or save a month or bi-weekly, you need to do that. You need to make sure that you watch your diet. If you have a goal for being healthy or just feeling better, or you need to make sure once a week, if that's the amount of time you have, right? Because everyone's schedule is different. You need to make sure you work out. You need to make sure you spend some time meditating or whatever you need to do. That's why I say write down your needs and write down your wants. Okay, you need this for the house, you need groceries, you need that. I want this. And then when you write it out or type it out and you get to look at it side by side, you get an idea of now looking at it not from an internal viewpoint, because we're human. If sometimes you're thinking in your mind, man, I want this so bad, but I need to do that. I've done it plenty of times, bro. I've done it plenty of times where I'm like, yo, I know I want this so bad, but I need to do this. And I said, fuck it. And I just do what I want. And that's not smart. That's not being responsible. And being a responsible person doesn't have to do with age, right? It just has to do with your maturity and your self-control. So that's why I say, in my opinion, when you write it or type it out now, you get to look at it like, yeah, I really want that. But the more I look at what I need, I'm all right. Or I'll just hold off on it, or maybe next week, next paycheck, or if I gotta wait a couple months, I gotta wait a couple months, because that's just how the game goes. Self-control is all about, and that's what I'm really trying to say, is that this minimalistic lifestyle and having goals, striving for them, all of that, yada yada yada. In my opinion, it all comes down to self-control. Self-control is just where it's at, because now, okay, I'm gonna diverge into now making money, right? When you start making money, this is how I word things, right? I don't word things like to come at anyone, but when you start making money now, you want to make a fortune. And what I mean by that is that, in my opinion, now let me get into this personally. If I'm making a fortune, or because I'm speaking into existence, when I'm making a fortune is when I no longer have debts on my back, right? I don't have nobody calling my number, emailing me saying, yo, yada yada, you know what I'm saying? Is when now I'm able to build if I'm building from zero, but I'm building just positive. The money I make is mine. I can put into savings, I can invest, I can yada yada in the future. If you choose to have kids, your kids can have money. And I'm not talking about like hundreds of thousands. I'm just talking about you have a base for them, right? It's just when you can build that. It's when you have financial freedom, basically. And I wanted to, because it's good to make money, but I feel like not that I feel, it's facts. A lot of us make money, but we're not really making a fortune. And that's, again, I'm just wording it like this, because the money we make, we still spend either by our own accord when we don't control ourselves, or we gotta pay. I'm not even talking about bills, because bills is just something you're gonna have. I'm talking about like we just gotta pay off debts consistently, right? So now you want to make a fortune, you want to pay off your debts, you want to control yourself. So again, always treat yourself. If you can't treat yourself one time a month, that's what I do. I try to treat myself somehow, but you gotta control yourself sometimes. Be like, all right, maybe not this month, maybe not 2 months, maybe not 3 months, 4 months, because you want to pay off this, or you want to do this certain thing because you want to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be. Shush. I'm recording up, bruh. I hope y'all didn't hear my stomach. It's growling. I just finished working. I was hungry now. I get it. Anyways, but my bad. But yeah, anyway, so you want to control yourself so that when you're able to now, you can use that money that you allocated towards whatever. And now the reason why I said that is because I'm gonna link this article to again below. Let me find it real quick. There are facts. Here we go. So there's an article from last fall, 2019, that stated that over half, which is about 53% of Canadians, live paycheck to paycheck, which is obviously bad, right? For whatever other reasons. I'm just naming off the facts. There could be a plethora of reasons why. But anyways, let's go on. Over a quarter, which is 27%, still don't have enough for their needs. And less than half, 42%, have enough to spend on their wants. And this is the reason why I wanted to speak about this, because I found that article, right? Obviously, every podcast I want to find interesting things, not just gaming news and anime news, but I want to find some life relatable news, because there's more to life than that. And this is the reason why I want to speak on this, is because you see what I'm saying? A lot of us are making money, and for whatever other reasons, right? This is just the facts that show us that, damn, bro, 53% of people are really still living paycheck to paycheck, and that can be a variety of ages, right? It could just be young 20 whatever to 50, 60s, or there's still a lot of 60-year-olds, bro, that I know that still live paycheck to paycheck, and that's not good. So, and only quarter still don't, 27% still don't have enough for their needs. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's what I'm going back to, is the needs. So I know some people might not be like affected by that number, might not care, 27% whatever, but it's still a big number, because that's a lot of people, right? Those people might have kids or somebody they're caring for. So that's why I said, if we can, do your best every single day. And minimalistic lifestyle is not just in terms of having just the basic necessities in your home, but also just when you step out of your home. Okay, when I'm hungry, I'm not just gonna buy a $15 combo of, okay, you know what I'm saying? You're controlling yourself in terms of eat as much as you need. You know what I'm saying? If you know you don't have that much money, don't be buying all the food just because you're hungry. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy a bunch of drinks and stuff just because you want to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, control yourself in your liquor consumption. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? If you smoke, you know what I'm saying? Smoke responsibly. I know you got times where you just do your thing, but I'm just saying, and these are my opinion on how this impacts us, because everybody got goals, but trust me, man, that's why only like small percentage of people actually achieve what they want in life, because it all comes down to self-control. And minimalistic lifestyle to me is more so not just a physical thing, but it's a mental thing, and it's gonna do great things for your mental health. It's gonna benefit you a lot when it comes to psychologically, and I feel like it's gonna be worth it. So that's all I think. Check my notes real quick. Yeah, that's all I really had to say. This podcast, again, thank you for anybody that listened through the whole podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I got more videos coming each and every month. I do a podcast. Every week I'm putting out a video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell your mother, tell your brother, tell your cousin, all of that. Appreciate it. And again, stay blessed. Have a beautiful day, and be blessed. Be safe.